The transport ship cut through the night sky like a burning star, its engines roaring as it descended toward the human military base. Soldiers on the ground stopped what they were doing and looked up, pointing at the strange craft that did not belong to Earth. The air trembled as the alien vessel landed with a heavy crash. Dust flying everywhere. From the smoke he appeared. The alien warrior, tall and powerful, with armor that shimmered under the floodlights. His skin was marked with scars of many battles, his eyes sharp like blades. He walked with confidence, as if the entire planet belonged to him. He had fought wars across galaxies, destroyed empires, and crushed enemies. To him, humans were only fragile creatures, soft and weak. He believed joining their army would be nothing more than a simple challenge. The human commander stepped forward, his uniform neat, his expression calm but unreadable. "Welcome," the commander said, his voice steady. "You wish to join us. You will train with us. You will fight as one of us." The alien warrior smirked, his pride burning like fire. He thought this would be easy. He thought human training would be nothing compared to the brutal campaigns he had survived in space. The next morning, before the sun even rose, the alien was thrown into the human training ground. Soldiers were already running, crawling in mud, carrying heavy weights on their shoulders. Their bodies were covered in sweat and dirt, but their eyes shone with determination. The alien tilted his head, confused. For him, warriors used machines, weapons, and advanced technology. Yet here, humans trained their bodies as if flesh itself could become steel. The whistle blew. The alien was ordered to join the run. At first, he laughed. His long legs carried him faster than most humans. He ran ahead with pride, leaving the others behind. But then, something strange happened. The humans did not stop. They kept running, their breaths heavy, their muscles burning. Yet, they refused to slow down. Hours passed. The alien's breath grew short. His muscles ached, sweat dripped down his face. He had never pushed his body like this. He could not understand why the humans kept going when every step was pure pain. By midday, he stumbled, falling to his knees. He growled in frustration. His people never trained this way. They believed in strength from birth, not strength earned through suffering. Yet humans ran past him, some even helping each other, dragging injured comrades, shouting encouragement. "Get up! Don't stop! We keep moving!" The alien stared at them, shocked. Later came the obstacle course, walls taller than him, trenches filled with freezing water, barbed wire to crawl under. The alien warrior tried to smash through with brute force, but brute force was useless. He slipped in the mud, his armor heavy, his pride wounded. Meanwhile, humans climbed, crawled, and pushed one another forward. They were slower than him, weaker than him, but together they moved like a single living machine. By evening, the alien warrior sat alone, his chest heaving. His pride was broken. For the first time in his life, he had been defeated not by weapons, not by enemies, but by training. He looked at the humans around him, laughing and sharing food. Even after a day of torment, they were bruised, bleeding, but still smiling. He could not understand it. How could they enjoy such suffering? How could they be so strong without strength? That night, as he lay in the barracks among humans, listening to their tired breaths, he thought deeply. He had expected weakness, but what he found was something else. Humans had a power different from anything he had seen in the galaxy. It was not muscles, not weapons, but something deeper, something invisible. The alien warrior clenched his fists. His heart was filled with a strange feeling he had never known before. Was it respect? Was it fear? Or was it the beginning of change? He did not know. But one thing was certain. The path he had chosen was not easy. This training was not simple. This was war before war. And for the first time, the alien warrior began to wonder if he was strong enough to survive it. Asterisk. The morning trumpet shook the base, pulling every soldier from their beds. The alien warrior rose too, his tall frame stretching against the low ceiling of the barracks. His body ached from yesterday's run, his pride still wounded. yet he walked out with his head high, unwilling to show weakness. The field was alive with sound. Boots struck the ground in rhythm. Whistles screamed, human voices shouted orders. The alien looked around. Hundreds of men and women stood in straight lines, their eyes sharp, their backs straight. Not one complained, not one moved until ordered. The discipline was unlike anything he had seen in his people. For his kind, warriors fought for glory. For humans, it seemed they fought for each other. The commander's voice roared, "Today, you will learn what it means to be soldiers, not aliens, not humans, but soldiers, side by side." The alien's chest swelled with arrogance. He believed he already was a soldier. He had fought across galaxies. He thought these drills would be child's play. The first order was simple: push-ups. The alien smirked and dropped to the ground. He pressed his mighty arms against the dirt and rose easily. But the humans around him moved with rhythm, slow and steady. One after another, their bodies went down and up. The whistle blew. They kept moving. 10, 20, 30, 40. The alien laughed at first, but then his arms grew heavy. His breath came faster. Sweat fell into the dirt below his face. He glanced to his side. A human soldier, smaller and weaker in body, still kept going, his lips bleeding where he bit them, yet he refused to stop. The alien dropped after 70, gasping. His pride told him he was still stronger. But inside, something unsettled him. How did that human not stop? How could someone with such little strength surpass him in will? Next came the drills with rifles. Wooden training rifles, heavy and rough. The alien scoffed. His people used plasma cannons and laser blades. What use was this old weapon? But when the humans lifted their rifles, their bodies moved as one. A single motion, a single strike. Their shouts echoed together, shaking the air. Ha! The alien tried to copy, but his movements were sloppy. He was strong, yet lacked their sharpness, their unity. He felt like an outsider again. The heat grew worse as midday arrived. Sweat soaked his armor. His stomach growled with hunger, but the humans pushed on, crawling under barbed wire, carrying each other on shoulders, sprinting with packs heavier than stone. The alien tried to match them. At first, his long strides carried him far. But when ordered to carry a soldier on his back, he struggled. The weight was nothing compared to the cargo he had lifted before. But carrying a living comrade was different. The human on his back shouted, "Don't drop me, warrior. I'm counting on you." The alien stumbled, his chest burning. That voice, that trust, pierced his pride deeper than any blade. By evening, his body was broken. His claws dug into the dirt as he gasped for breath. The commander walked past, his sharp eyes scanning the soldiers. "You are not here to show who is strongest," he said, his voice low but powerful. "You are here to learn that no one survives alone. Alone you are weak. Together you are unbreakable." The alien clenched his fists, his heart throbbed. He hated those words, yet deep inside, he knew they were true. As the day ended, the alien sat with humans around a campfire. They laughed, they shared dry rations. They spoke of families, of homes, of dreams. They passed him a piece of bread, hard and tasteless, yet when he ate it, something strange filled him, not the taste, but the warmth of being included. For the first time, he did not feel like a stranger. That night, lying on the hard bunk, the alien stared at the ceiling. His body hurt, his pride was bleeding, but his mind was awake. He had expected weakness from humans, yet he found only fire. He had expected thee their master, yet he felt like a student. He closed his eyes, whispering to himself, "Tomorrow, I will not fall behind. Tomorrow, I will prove I belong." But in his heart, he feared what tomorrow's trial would be. The third day of training began under a red dawn. The sky burned with fire as if warning of a coming storm. The alien warrior stood tall, his body sore but his spirit unbroken. He had endured the endless drills, the mud, the exhaustion, yet inside him, pride burned stronger than pain. He was a warrior of the stars, forged in battles humans could not imagine. He refused to believe he was lesser than them. That morning, the commander called for sparring. A circle of soldiers gathered around the field. Each fighter would face another in hand-to-hand combat. The alien's eyes lit with hunger. At last, something he could dominate. He stepped into the ring, his tall figure casting a shadow across the dirt. His claws flexed, his muscles rippled. He was ready to show these humans what true strength was. The first human opponent was strong but fell quickly. The alien's strikes were sharp, his movements fast. The crowd gasped as the soldier was knocked flat. The alien sneered, proud. He looked at the humans and shouted, "This is your strength? Weak, fragile, unworthy of war." His words struck like a blade, but the humans stayed silent. Their eyes did not look defeated. Instead, they glowed with fire. Then the commander pointed to the toughest soldier in the unit, a man named Reed. Reed was broad-shouldered, his body scarred, his gaze steady like stone. He walked into the circle without fear, his fists clenched, his boots grinding the dirt. The alien smirked. This human would fall like the rest. The whistle blew. The fight began. The alien charged. With power, his strike hit Reed and sent him crashing to the ground. The crowd gasped again. The alien raised his hands in victory, but Reed pushed himself up, his lip bleeding. His eyes unshaken, he charged back, throwing punches with raw fury. The alien blocked easily, striking him down again. Yet Reed rose once more. Again and again, the alien slammed him into the dirt. Again and again, Reed stood back up. His body trembled. His face was bruised, but he refused to stay down. The alien growled, frustration burning in his chest. This was impossible. No one had ever dared to rise after being crushed by him. The human soldiers began to shout, their voices echoing, "Reed! Reed! Reed!" The sound filled the air like thunder. The alien looked around, confused. They were not cheering victory. They were cheering defiance. They did not care about winning or losing. They cared only that Reed stood, that he refused to surrender. For the first time, the alien felt something sharp pierce his pride. He struck Reed harder, sending him rolling in the dirt. Yet Reed dragged himself up, blood dripping, his voice hoarse. "Is that all you've got? Hit me again, alien. I'm not done yet." The alien froze, his claws trembled. He could destroy this man, crush him completely. Yet looking into Reed's eyes, he saw something terrifying. It was not strength of muscle. It was not weapons or skill. It was will, unbreakable will, the kind that could turn even weakness into power. The whistle blew, ending the fight. Reed collapsed to his knees, breathing hard, but smiling through blood. The alien stood above him, victorious by strength, yet defeated by spirit. The crowd erupted, not for the alien's victory, but for Reed's refusal to bow. The commander's voice cut through the noise, calm but heavy. "Do you see now, warrior? This is what makes humans dangerous. We may fall 1,000 times, but we will rise 1,001. You cannot break us." That night, the alien sat in silence. His pride was cracked like glass. He had defeated Reed with strength, yet it felt hollow, empty. He had always believed strength was measured by how many you could crush. But today he saw a different kind of strength, one that refused to die even when the body was broken. Lying on his bunk, he whispered to himself, "What kind of creatures are these humans, that pain cannot stop them, that defeat cannot silence them?" His heart was heavy, but also curious. He had come to prove himself stronger, but now deep inside, he wondered if perhaps he was here to learn, and as sleep pulled him under, the image of Reed rising again and again burned in his mind like fire. The camp was silent when the alarm bell rang at midnight. The alien warrior opened his eyes, confused. Around him, human soldiers jumped from their bunks, pulling on boots, grabbing gear. No one asked questions, no one complained. They moved with speed as if they had been waiting for this call. The commander's voice echoed across the barracks. "Tonight, you face the night test. No weapons, no comfort, only your body, your mind, and your will. You survive until dawn, or you fail. The alien warrior narrowed his eyes. His people never trained in darkness. They used machines, sensors, and light. To him, the night was a place of weakness. But to humans, it seemed to be a crucible. The soldiers were led into the forest. The moonlight was pale. The trees twisted like black skeletons. The wind carried. Strange sounds, creaks, rustles, whispers. The alien warrior felt unease. For the first time since arriving on Earth, he realized he did not know what awaited him. The whistle blew, and the soldiers scattered. Each squad vanished into the shadows. The alien was left with only 4 humans, Reed among them. His pride told him he did not need them. But the commander's words from earlier still echoed in his head. No one survives alone. The first challenge came quickly. A deep trench filled with freezing water blocked their path. The alien could leap across easily. His legs were built for power, yet the humans worked together. They tied their belts, formed a rope, pulled one another across. When Reed extended his hand to the alien, the warrior hesitated. Then, with a low growl, he accepted. Together they crossed. As the night deepened, the cold grew sharper. Their breaths turned into white clouds. The alien warrior's skin shivered. He had armor, yet the chill cut through him. The humans pressed close to share warmth. Their bodies weak, yet their spirit made fire from nothing. The alien watched them, puzzled. How could flesh so fragile endure when his strong body faltered? Later, a false ambush was sprung. Explosions flashed, smoke spread. Human soldiers dropped low, crawling through dirt, pulling one another. The alien wanted to charge, to fight with raw strength, but the humans whispered, "Stay down, move quiet, survive." The alien obeyed, and for the first time, he realized stealth could be as powerful as strength. Hours passed. The forest seemed endless. The alien's mind grew heavy. Hunger gnawed at his stomach, fatigue pressed on his limbs. Yet the humans sang quietly, a low song of courage. Their voices carried strength. He felt it inside his chest, lifting him when his legs threatened to give way. But the hardest trial came near dawn. A cliff blocked their way, sharp rocks rising high into the mist. The humans began to climb with bare hands, bleeding fingers gripping the stone. The alien tried too, his claws slipping, his body heavy. For the first time in years, fear touched him. Fear of falling, fear of failing. Then Reed shouted from above, "Don't stop, warrior. You're not alone, climb with us." The alien growled, his pride battling inside. But as he looked at the humans pulling each other upward, refusing to abandon even the weakest, something shifted in him. He dug his claws in, dragged himself upward, and when one soldier slipped, he caught them, holding their weight with his strength. The humans smiled at him, breathless. "Good catch, brother. The word struck deeper than any blade. When dawn finally broke, the soldiers stood on the cliff's peak, battered, bruised, but alive. The commander waited there, his arms crossed. His eyes scanned them, pausing on the alien warrior. "You survived. Not because of strength, not because of power. You survived because you stood together." The alien warrior stood silent. His pride had been torn apart and rebuilt in a single night. He looked at the humans beside him, their faces tired, but their eyes bright. And for the first time, he felt something new, a bond, invisible but unbreakable. As the sun rose, painting the sky with gold, the alien warrior whispered to himself, "Maybe strength is not just what I carry alone. Maybe true strength is what we carry together." The 5th day began with a storm. Rain fell in heavy sheets, turning the training ground into a sea of mud. The air was cold, the ground slippery, but the commander's voice cut through the thunder like a blade. "Today you will know what it means to break. Today you will know what it means to rise." The alien warrior stood in the downpour, his armor soaked, his body aching from the night test. His mind whispered to him, urging him to quit. He had fought wars, faced enemies with fleets of ships, yet never had he been pushed like this. He felt something he had never felt before: doubt. The soldiers were ordered to carry logs, massive wooden beams that weighed more than steel. Together in squads, they lifted them onto their shoulders, marching through the storm. The alien growled. As the weight pressed into his bones, at first, his strength carried him. His tall frame made it easier than for the smaller humans. But hours passed. The log grew heavier, not in body but in mind. His muscles screamed. His breath came ragged. His vision blurred. He stumbled, the log slipping from his shoulder into the mud. Shame burned in his chest. The humans beside him shouted. "Lift it, don't stop." He snarled back. "Enough. This is pointless. This is not war, this is madness." But Reed, soaked in trembling, spat blood and answered, "This is war, warrior. This is how we win. Not with power, but with will." The alien's pride cracked again. He tried to lift the log, but his arms shook. His knees bent. He dropped to the ground. His claws dug into the mud. "I cannot," he whispered. His voice shook. He had never said those words before, not in all his battles. Yet here, in human training, he said them. The soldiers around him did not mock him. They did not leave him. Instead, one soldier pressed his shoulder under the log with him. Another pushed from the other side. Reed shouted, "We carry this together. No one gets left behind." The alien's eyes widened. In his world, weakness was abandoned. The weak left to die. But here, weakness was lifted, shared, and turned into strength. With their help, he rose again, step by step. The log no longer his burden alone. The pain was still there. The storm still raged, but inside him, something new sparked, a warmth he did not understand. A feeling that whispered he was not alone. The next trial was worse. They were ordered to crawl through freezing water under barbed wire. The rain mixed with mud, turning the trench into an icy swamp. The alien hesitated. His body was not made for this. His pride screamed at him to stand, to refuse. But when the whistle blew, the humans threw themselves into the mud without hesitation. Their faces pressed into the dirt, their hands pulling forward inch by inch. Reed turned his head and shouted, "Move, warrior. If you stop, we all stop." The alien roared, his pride finally breaking into raw desperation. He plunged into the mud, the cold slicing into his bones. The barbed wire tore at his armor. Sparks flew as his claws dragged him forward. He wanted to quit every second, but the humans around him kept moving, their grunts and cries pushing him, pulling him. Together they crawled through hell. By the time they reached the end, his body was shivering. His lungs felt like fire. He collapsed onto the ground, staring at the gray sky above. His mind screamed, "Leave, go back to your people. You do not belong here." But then he felt a hand grip his shoulder. Reed's voice, rough but steady, "You belong here now. Warrior, you bleed with us, you rise with us." The alien's chest tightened. He wanted to speak, but no words came. Instead, he nodded. His pride shattered completely, replaced by something new. That evening around the fire, the alien sat with the humans, his body broken, but his heart strangely light. They laughed through pain. They shared food. They spoke of survival not as individuals, but as one. He realized that this was their secret. Their true strength was not in muscle, not in weapons, but in refusing to let each other fall. As the flames flickered, the alien stared into them, his voice low, almost to himself. "Maybe strength is not about never falling. Maybe true strength is rising, even when the body says no." The storm still raged outside, but inside him, a different fire had been lit. A fire he knew would never go out. The sun had barely risen when the siren screamed. This was no ordinary drill. The alien warrior rushed from the barracks, his heart pounding. Human soldiers were already in formation, their faces painted in black streaks, their rifles locked. Their eyes burned with a fire he had not seen before. The commander's voice thundered, "This is not training. This is war simulation. Explosions, chaos, no rules. Survive as if your life depends on it, because one day it will." The alien's pulse quickened. He had faced real battlefields. He thought this would be easy. Yet when the first blast shook the ground, he felt the earth tremble under his feet. Smoke rose like a monster. Gunfire rattled in the distance. Human soldiers charged forward without hesitation. The alien followed, his massive frame pushing through smoke. He swung his claws, tearing down mock enemies with ease. But then the chaos swallowed him. Grenades burst near him, dirt and fire filling the air. Humans dove into the mud, rolling, crawling, shouting warnings to each other. Their movements sharp, fast, brutal. They fought as if born for this moment. He saw a young soldier pinned under debris. Without hesitation, another human threw aside his weapon and lifted the rubble. With bleeding hands, the alien froze. His people would never risk themselves in a drill. Yet these humans did it without question. They fought not for glory, not for survival alone, but for one another. The alien roared and joined the fight. His claws tore apart barriers. His strength shielded humans from falling debris. For the first time, he was not fighting alone. He was part of their fury. The commander's voice shouted through speakers. Enemy ambush from the north. The alien turned and saw them, dozens of mock enemy drones pouring down. Humans did not run. They spread out, covering each other, firing in rhythm. Their rifles cracked like thunder. Reed shouted, "Cover left flank. Move, move." The alien watched in awe. The humans moved like flowing water, adapting, bending, but never breaking. He charged into the drones, smashing them apart. But when more poured in, it was the humans' fire that cut them down, precise and unyielding. Suddenly, an explosion sent Reed flying into the dirt. The alien's chest tightened. He rushed to his side, lifting him. Reed coughed blood but growled, "Put me down, warrior. Fight. Don't waste time." The alien snarled, "I will not leave you." Reed's eyes widened. Then he grinned through blood. "Now you sound like one of us." Something shifted in that moment. The alien turned, standing over Reed, covering him from enemy fire. His claws ripped through the mock attackers, his roar shaking the field. The humans rallied behind him, shouting his name now, not as an outsider, but as a brother. The battle raged for hours, explosions, smoke, cries of pain. The alien fought until his muscles burned, until his breath was fire. The humans fought beside him, fearless, tireless. Their unity was a weapon sharper than any blade. Their will was a shield no enemy could pierce. When the final horn blew, silence fell. The field was torn apart, smoke rising. Soldiers lay on the ground, covered in mud, sweat, and blood. Yet they smiled, they laughed, they slapped each other's backs. The alien warrior stood in the middle, chest heaving, his body hurt, his armor dented, his pride gone, replaced by something greater. He looked around at the humans, at Reed, at the faces of those who had fought like demons, and for the first time he felt truly alive. The commander stepped forward, his voice steady. "Now you see, warrior, we are not the strongest in body, but in battle we become more than flesh. More than fear, we fight until the last breath. We fight as one." The alien bowed his head. His chest burned with a new fire. He had thought himself greater, but now he knew the truth. Alone he was strong, but with humans he was unstoppable. That night, as he sat under the stars, his body trembling with exhaustion, he whispered to himself, "I came to prove myself stronger, but instead, I found something greater. I found a brotherhood that even war cannot break." And in the silence of the night, he realized he was no longer just an alien warrior. He was now part of an army unlike any in the galaxy. The sky was golden when the soldiers gathered on the parade ground. The long weeks of suffering, training, and trials had ended. Their bodies were scarred, their faces tired, but their eyes shone with pride. The alien warrior stood among them, his massive frame casting a shadow over the humans. Yet for the first time, he did not feel taller, he felt equal. The commander walked down the line, his boots striking the ground in steady rhythm. His gaze moved from face to face, stopping on the alien. You came here as an outsider, proud and untested in our way. You thought strength was enough. But now tell me, warrior, what have you learned? The alien's chest rose and fell. His voice rumbled deep, carrying across the field. I learned that strength alone is hollow. I learned that the true weapon of humans is not in their bodies, not in their machines, but in their spirit, in their will, in their unity. And he paused, his claws tightening. I learned that I am no longer alone. The soldiers around him smiled. Some clapped his shoulder, some nodded. Reed grinned through a scar on his lip, whispering, "Told you, brother." The alien looked at him, and for the first time in his long life, he returned the smile. The ceremony continued. Each soldier stepped forward, placing a hand on the flag, swearing loyalty to Earth and to one another. When it was the alien's turn, silence fell. All eyes turned to him. Would he swear the oath of humans? He stepped forward, his clawed hand trembling slightly. He touched the flag, its fabric rough beneath his armored fingers. His voice echoed, slow and heavy. I swear to fight with you, to bleed with you, to rise with you. I swear loyalty not as an outsider, but as a soldier of humanity. The crowd erupted. Cheers filled the air, not as welcome to an alien, but as honor to a brother. For the first time, he felt something greater than pride belonging. But the celebration was short. The commander raised a hand. Silence returned. His eyes turned to the horizon. His voice darkened. Rejoice, for today you became soldiers. But remember, this was only preparation. The galaxy stirs, and enemies greater than any of you have known are watching. They know of us, and they fear us. That is why they will come. Alien's chest tightened. He looked at the humans around him, laughing, cheering, still bruised from the trials. And he wondered, what kind of enemy could be so dangerous that even humans trained with such brutality? That night, the alien stood alone outside the barracks, staring at the stars. The galaxy stretched wide, silent, but he felt the tension in the air, like the calm before a storm. He thought of his own people, how they had abandoned weakness, how they fought only for glory. He thought of humans, how they lifted one another, how they refused to break. He clenched his fist and whispered into the night, "Let them come. Let the galaxy send its monsters. I will stand with humans. I will fight as one of them. I am no longer only a warrior of the stars. I am a soldier of Earth." The wind carried his words into the darkness. The stars above seemed to flicker brighter. As if listening, inside the barracks, Reed's voice called out, "Come in, brother. Tomorrow we train again." The alien smiled faintly. For once, training no longer felt like punishment. It felt like purpose. As he stepped inside, the sirens of celebration still echoing in the camp, he felt something stir in his heart. Not pride, not arrogance, but duty. And far beyond Earth, in the void of space, shadows moved, fleets prepared. Unseen eyes watched the planet, waiting, calculating. The alien warrior lay down among his brothers, his heart steady, his oath unbroken. The galaxy would soon test the strength of humanity. But this time, he would not face it as an outsider. He would face it as one of them, and when the storm came, the galaxy would learn the same lesson he had, that humans never fight alone.